Well, we're
What
back.
it is, what it is, y'all.
hmm
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Yes. Well, hello, America.
We
Well,
kind of late,
let's,
but we still here, y'all.
yeah, better late than never. Well,
Right.
let's get going with the mantra. Okay. The revelation of the divine spark. Through the power, force, might, and will of the great nothingness of infinite beingness, through the power, oh shit. Through the power, force, might, and will of the great nothingness of the almighty powers of the great nothingness of almighty love, infinite, endless, limitless, invisible light from which comes the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized into realization, actualization, and form as we are now commanded to be, is now being and becoming an active force of higher consciousness and an active force of infinite intelligence within us all now. Being and becoming the great primordial dragon god son, Kundalini flames now whirling and ascending up our spines from our root chakra to our central heart chakra, on up to our royal crown chakra, igniting our royal crown chakra, illuminating our first eye, our Lord Amunel Drakra, our hidden priestly grandmaster magi, dragon god, son, kings, and queens, igniting all of the 72 chakras in our first eye, our 72 primordial dragon god, son, kings, and queens, and all of our legions of 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 legions legions of 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 armies 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 armies of 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 armies. Now, willing all of the powers, all of the forces, all of the elements, all of the essences, all of the dark matter and dark energy within the absolute all into being and becoming all of our will serving all of our wills, objectives, intentions, and desires, crystallizing them all now into realization, actualization, and form as we are now will and commanded to be. Now, coming down as the energy that we need now, and coming down as the unlimited energy source that we need now to help us overcome and defeat all of the obstacles in our way, completely dissolving all of our problems, worries, lack, and fears into complete nothingness. Now, manifesting into our lives as all of the substance that we need now to rebuild our life into the proper order and law that we will and command and desire it to be, as we only now affirm the positive abundance in the absolute all, as in eachness of oneness in the absolute all, manifesting into our lives as divine love, perfect health, and vitality, the abundance of prosperity in the absolute all, enriching our lives and the lives of all those around us while protecting us from the evil of human thoughts and human deeds, evil deeds. And all of our enemies bringing all out war, judgment, death, and total destruction upon the evil, soulless, counterfeit spirits, the robots, the ignorant, walking dead, automatons, and their Lord and God, the demiurge, and the all of the archonic forces enslaving and feeding off of the divine spark, the Kundalini race, and all of the entities and deities aligned against us, enslaving us in grotesque matter to be reborn, live, suffer, and die over and over until now, because now's the time of our rise to conscious unity as they all fall. That's all our war, judgment, and death and destruction is upon them all. As We are now willing commanded to be through the power, force, might, and will of the great nothingness of the almighty powers, of the great nothingness of almighty flow, the great nothingness of infinite beingness, of infinite, endless, limitless, invisible light from which comes the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized into realization, actualization, and form as we are now willing commanded to be. Abracadabra, ashe.
Pressure changer.
Hmm. Yep. Now, okay. Crown chakra day libations. Ain, the nothingness, Ashe. Ain
Ashe.
Soft, the infinite, Ashe. Ain
Ashe.
Soft 4, the infinite light, Ashe. Adam
Ashe.
Captain, Atik Yaman, the ancient of ancient, the most ancient of days. Arik Campton, the big face, the primordial Christ, Ashe.
Ashe.
Absolute emanations, our supernal holy universe manifesting as our holy divine infinite magical names, the cosmic Christ, Ashe. The
Ashe.
great abyss of gnosis manifesting in us as our crown of Zerampin, the small face, the indwelling Christ, Ashe. Berea, form, creation, and paradise, manifesting in us as our holy, divine, infinite, magical, dark archangels and demons, Ashe.
Ashe.
Yetzirah, formation, manifesting in us as our holy, divine, infinite, magical orders of dark angels and demons, Ashe. Ashia, the actual physical world in the making, manifesting in us as our holy, divine, infinite, magical, earthly kingdom, Ashe. Yeshida, our holy, divine, infinite, magical, divine spark, manifesting in us as our holy, divine, infinite, magical will, Ashe. Hea, our holy, divine, infinite, magical life force, manifesting in us as our holy, divine, infinite, magical desire, Ashe. Neshama, our holy, divine, infinite, magical, heavenly soul, manifesting in us as our holy, divine, infinite, magical, heavenly thoughts, Ashe. Ruach, our holy, divine, heavenly soul, well, our holy, divine, infinite, magical soul, manifesting in us as our holy, divine, infinite, magical will, Ashe. As our holy, divine, infinite, magical word spoken through us, Ashe. Ruach, our holy, divine, infinite, magical, earthly soul, manifesting into realization, actualization, and form as we are now willing commanded to be, Ashe.
Ashe.
Gether, the supernal crown, Ashe.
Ashe.
Hakma, wisdom, the supernal father, Ashe.
Ashe.
Bana, understanding and intelligence, the supernal mother, Ashe. Da,
Ashe.
the great abyss of gnosis, Ashe.
Ashe.
Hased, mercy, Ashe. Gavora, judgment, Ashe. Tiferet, beauty, Ashe. Netzik, victory, Ashe. Had, glory, Ashe. Yasad, foundation, Ashe. Malkut, kingdom, Ashe. The power, force, might, and will of the great nothingness of the almighty powers of the great nothingness of almighty flow, the great nothingness of the the primordial flower constantly blooming the absolute all into being. Ashe.
Ashe. Isis Ashe. Empress Ashe. Cyrus Ashe. Uh, Order out of Chaos Queen Ashe.
Ashe.
The Beyond Gods Ashe. Ma'at
Ashe.
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 All the goddesses known and unknown, all the gods known and unknown. Ashe.
Ashe.
What it is, brother.
Well, what it is, uh, same old, man. Now is we're like, we just had the eclipse and all you had the hype and everything, but I think something really did happen. There was a transformation. I think there was a major change. I feel a change in myself. Uh, the change is it's about taking advantage of all of the elements, mastering the four elements, and then the fifth element, which is ether. And by doing that, we were able to master or shape our own destiny and shape our future and shape our evolutionary path.
Right.
And I'm seeing how everything is now coming together. How, the political side, the metaphysical side, the spiritual side, how everything is starting, it's like these strings all merging into one big string, into one big river.
Right. Right. If you want to, like, I'm the king of mentioning certain programs that are going into some of they're basically articulating and um, illustrating the energy, because a lot of these, the one I'm suggesting right now is called Justice League's Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2.
Justice League.
Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2.
Oh.
This that one is a must see. You got to go watch that, man, because
Mm-hmm.
that program is basically breaking down the basis of how the universe is basically changing energetically. The whole universe.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't want to spoil it, but I don't want to spoil it for you to watch it. I want you to watch it because the whole universe is being deleted in this episode.
Okay.
The whole universe, all of the realities are being deleted.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta watch it, man. How they broke it down. What I love about it is most of these art, these animated adventure cartoons,
Mm-hmm.
they're giving you a scientific view from a theoretical physicist idea of the universe, right? Or because they theorize in the show to basically um, exaggerate the characters, exaggerate the situation, but they're using actual science to theorize certain concepts within the show.
Yeah.
So it's a must that you watch that, because people will say I'm a nerd, I'm a science nerd or whatever, but
Yes.
I'm just so into science and how you can actually use that physics, right? You can use physics
Mm-hmm.
as an example of metaphysics,
Yes.
right?
Well,
So,
they're all merging in together.
right, because what you're looking at on a physical level, right,
Mm-hmm.
is just an expression of things that are happening on a metaphysical level.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you can learn a lot from the physical, even though it's an after expression, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
things, it's kind of hard to explain the multiverse to people, man, because it's kind of hard to explain the multiverse to people because
Yeah.
you have to understand the multiverse to understand what's happening here. You have to understand the multiverse, quantum reality, quantum physics, and things of that nature. You have to understand that to understand what's really, really going on right now.
Well, those things already exist within us. If we just don't understand the language of it. But by going within and taking a spiritual journey within self, your spiritual guide to show you the whole universe and multiverse.
No doubt. I mean, at the end of the day, that's our true nature is multidimensional, but we always look at things from a third dimension, three dimensions. right? Some people are not even orientated to three dimensions. They're just one dimensional in nature. I mean, not in nature, but because in nature you're multidimensional. But um, they basically are not. They're one dimensional. Most people are one dimensional.
And yeah, and we don't have to be. But I'm finding out that we're all just only at the tip of the iceberg. I mean, I speak for myself. Um, there's so much. I mean, okay, like in that movie Lucy, about that white chick that they put this drug in her, and she gained access to 100% of her brain.
Right.
Um, we exist in a society that only uses 10% of its brain power, and the other 90% is almost taboo.
Right.
It's almost the 90%, that's the red pill,
Right. 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 Right.
and the 10% is the blue pill.
Right.
So when you start studying the the alchemy, the esoteric knowledge, the Gnostic texts, and all the other esoteric texts, that takes you down. You know,
Okay.
you're taking the red pill,
What?
and
You what?
that takes you on a journey that enables you to begin unlocking that other 90% of our brain that we don't use.
You can, you can, you can.
And by unlocking that other 90% of our brain that we don't use, then that opens the doors for many new frontiers for us, many new um, possible realities. Well, folks, I don't know about you guys. Oh, there you are. You're back.
Go ahead and continue talking, man.
So, oh, okay. Um, so by opening up these, going into this, the other parts of our brain, um, I think that's how we get in contact with the ether, with and the fifth element. And by doing that, we can shape our future, I believe. Well, I can only speak for my own self.
Right. That's an illusion, though.
Hmm?
The self as in Jamaican culture. I mean, Rastafarian culture.
Mm-hmm.
They got this concept called the I and I. I and I. They call each other I.
Mm.
Like you'll run into a Rastafarian. He'll be
Yeah.
like, he'll say, "How you doing? I and I means we're one."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
So
get.
that's part of the problem. That's part of the ego part, where people think we're separate, but in the quantum realm, we're collective, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's another part of how the red pill, blue pill. The blue pill is, oh, you're individual. I mean, the red pill is you're individual. The blue pill is we're collective, and they are taking advantage of us based on our collective consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
and that collective consciousness, we have to be mindful of that and actually work in the psychic realm together more. Not because at the end of the day, we can do it on a physical level too. I'm not, but it's more effective if we do it on a subconscious,
Yes.
psychic, and spiritual level, recognizing the collective. So they're the
Yes.
collective. They're the collective unconscious. They're the
Yeah.
collective subconscious. They're the collective consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So if we are more mindful of that, we can actually. This is how the Egyptians were basically building the pyramids. Why is it? It's one of the seven wonders of the world, and they still can't explain it. Why? Because they were able to tap into this collective consciousness, bro, and make matter move at their will.
Yeah, but this was going on all over the planet. It wasn't just in Kemet. It was all over the planet. You got those same pyramids, even larger pyramids in Antarctica, and God knows
Well,
where else.
I know that. I'm just saying that. I'm just using that as an example. That's just one example.
Hmm. You see, I want to know the history, the prior gnosis of civilization on this planet. I mean, not just the shit that they taught us. I believe that there have been so many civilizations that are came and gone, and many different epochs. And by knowing that, it kind of let us know where we're headed from here.
Well, I think we pay too much attention to the modern day perspective of these things.
Yeah, and the answer's not there. That's a trap almost.
I look at all of the abundance of sacred symbolism and all of the pictory science and symbolism that our ancestors left for us. This is a cosmology, and in that cosmology, you can actually predict what's happening because a lot of the ancient cosmology was basically telling you stories about something that happened in a different energetic earth, right?
Yeah,
Because that's another thing that show that show that I was talking about, Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths. It lets
yeah.
you know that there are there are many Earths.
Hmm.
There are many Earths simultaneously existing right here on with this because they're in this. Y'all gotta go watch the show, man. It goes really deep into the metaphysical quantum understanding of Earth, the universe, the multiverse. It go deep into it. They it's kind of like seem like they have been listening to some of the lectures and
Yeah,
they're incorporating it into these shows now, man. I swear they
yeah.
are, bro. I swear they are because they gave an explanation on the Earth, right? There is multiple Earths, right?
Hmm.
And they basically, on the Spider-Man Spider-Verse, right? The multi Spider-Verse or
Hmm.
whatever. All of these worlds came together and they was working together. This seemed to be this seemed to be the theme of all of them now, because that on this last show that I was talking about, all the Earths came together, right?
Hmm.
They they basically are separated by just a slight frequency or overtone up or above, a slight frequency overtone up
A
or
veil.
above. When you're dealing with optics, it's the same dynamics when you're dealing with optics. I mean, optics like sound frequencies.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I
So
can hear
it's
you.
like optics. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but when you get to certain optics, you get a certain level of
Octaves. Octaves.
huh?
Octaves. Like Octavia. Octaves.
Right. But I'm talking about the different
Yeah.
frequencies of that voice, right?
Yes.
Some people can sing at a certain high level where you can't even hear them anymore,
Mm.
right? You you
Well,
ever you ever you ever heard you ever seen somebody do that before where their tone of octaves can go so high that you can't even hear their voice no more. But other things we hearing, and so it's similar to how a dog whistle, right? A dog can only
Mm-hmm.
hear the frequency of that whistle because the dog's ear is the only thing tuned into the frequency.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same dynamics of how different Earth exists. They exist all on different octaves of that tone of that frequency.
Mm-hmm.
This shit is groundbreaking, brother. This
It's
stuff is
like radio
groundbreaking.
stations,
Huh?
like different radio stations.
Different radios. I would more describe it like different frequency tones of octaves, frequencies of tone. Like when you sing high, and then when you sing low, right? You can tap into different resonant frequency by tapping into those octaves. This is how you get to different earths because they are different. They exist on different tones. They exist on different
Mm-hmm.
frequencies. This shit is really, really
Okay.
deep, bro. This shit is really deep, bro. Like, and it's really revealing how light, sound are basically the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Light and sound is basically the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And they operate the same way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because sonar. You have what is called sonar, which you can get images from sound. Yeah,
Yep,
certain
yep.
animals like bats, they see through sonar. Shit, like it's a fucking daredevil.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
so I can see how that makes sense because you can use sound. Sound can be used to as a way of able to visualize something. Sonar. Well, here we are again. Well,
You there?
yeah, I'm here. You're the one that come in and out.
Yeah, talking about signals and sound frequencies. Now our signal going out.
Hmm. I guess that kind of describes it. Like certain signals. mm, I can. It's kind of hard to explain. The English language is so limited.
No, but that's kind of goes into frequencies and sound too, signals, because you got different signals that produce certain broadcasts too, certain
Mhm.
signals that are digital signals that they can send through wiring, and they basically display themselves on any mobile device that you have. So it's similar. It's the same. It's somewhat the same thing, but we're dealing with signals that are manufactured. You know what I'm saying? What I'm speaking on is signals that are ancient overtone signals that are primordial in nature, and they're coming from the divine intelligence. It's like
Oh,
it's like the divine intelligence is playing in an orchestra like the funkadelic band and shit.
yeah, it's coming straight out of the ethers, out
Right,
of the water. Hmm.
right, and it produces universes. It produces stars. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
This melody, this frequency. It's like it's a music, bro. It's a music, literally. You know what I'm saying? Literally a music. The whole
Mm.
universe is literally music.
It's music.
You know what I'm saying?
And yeah.
The whole universe, like it's very thought provoking, man. When you think about it,
Mm-hmm.
because it doesn't. It now it's like you're not limited to the physical world anymore when you understand this. Okay, now let's even go deeper into to the show. Right,
Yeah.
the only one who wasn't affected by all of these realities being deleted, because how was all these realities being deleted? There was a I hate to spoil it for you, but y'all gonna still watch it. Y'all still gotta watch it though. There was an
Yeah.
antimatter wave. It
Who
was an
set that off?
antimatter wave, right?
What? Yeah.
That was erasing all of known reality, right? So
Mm-hmm.
how did they how did they solve the problem of actually stopping this antimatter ray wave from destroying all of reality? What they did was, again, they understood that when they resonate on a different tone frequency, right, it will reverse
Mm-hmm.
it will reverse the effects of the antimatter wave, right? So it went back, because how did they discover it? They went the Flash, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Flash. You know the Flash character?
Yeah.
He's able
I got
to
it.
he's able to move in between not only worlds, right? But he's
Mm-hmm.
able to move in between time, different worlds, and he was the
Mm-hmm.
only one was immune. He was the only one who was immune to this anti-matter wave.
Mm.
He was the only one. So they figured it out. They were like, okay, so since you can basically outrun this motherfucker, he was outrunning it. He was he was ta- he was basically tuning himself on a frequency beyond the scope of the wave,
Yeah.
right? So they say they looked at it, they were like, okay, bam, that's how we can stop it from affecting our realities, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is all they had to do was set a tuning fork
Mm-hmm.
to a certain tune, and it will mediate the effects of this antimatter wave, bro. Look at
Yeah.
this shit, man.
Neutral.
Because literally they telling you what's going on now.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
are being bombarded with certain frequencies, and we are being bombarded with artificial frequencies, which are the
Mm-hmm.
ones that's kind of interrupting. The artificial frequencies are the ones that's interrupting the natural ones.
The natural frequencies, nature.
Yeah,
Yeah. They're anti-nature, which is the they're antichrist. And
right, right, right.
they give them antichrist signals. But
But
yeah,
then you see,
nature.
how most of humanity is op. We're look. This is you either tuning in, or you being tuned up. You either tuning in or being tuned up, or you the tuner.
You're either the broadcaster or being broadcast.
Right. So most people have decided to take the lazy route, the gluttonous route, and not use that all of their capacities, not just their brain capacity, their spiritual capacities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or you would say mental. Well, uh,
Right, brain capacity, mental capacities, spiritual capacities. We have superpowers, man. Period. Let's just break it down. We got superpowers, man. That they
hmm
just play down. They just play it down at sensory perception, right?
yeah.
And what about the seventh sense, though? What about an eighth
The-
sense, the ninth sense, right?
well, yeah. Well, it's about going back to the primordial beginning, going back to the 0 point, going back to the Ain soft door. that that I mean that's the ether. That's the dark matter, the dark energy that pretty much holds all reality together, and eventually it will probably destroy all of this reality too at some point. You know, we came from chaos and we're going back into the chaos.
It is the substanceless substance. Listen to my wordplay. It's the substanceless. It's the substanceless substance.
Mhm.
Woo, that's deep, bro. You gotta realize this language is like a mirror.
Mm. Yeah.
All of reality is like a mirror reflecting upon itself.
Yep. The dark matter. Okay. Rashmir Jones is in the building. What's up?
Yeah, that's my brother. Peace, peace, brother. Saturday Night Live, man. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
but
That's
yeah,
what um,
I remember I
reality.
came up with the concept. Look, I remember years ago I came up with the concept where, like, my mind is the universe you live in, right?
Hmm.
And then I came up with the damn, the universe is the universe is the self, or the self is the universe, and vice versa, right?
Hmm.
The universe, and through that understanding, that process of thinking, right? Because this is a process that I went through for years and years and years, trying to discover, attempting to discover the truth about things going on, right? If you're
Hmm.
genuine, the universe is going to give you all the answers. But it's like I said, genuine. You have to have a genuine heart. You can't be caught up in the matrix to
Yeah. You
get the
can't be
truth.
all logic. You can't be all right brain.
Right,
I
right.
mean left brain.
You have to consider the nuances of the universe. You have to understand that there is everything is polarity, right? If you understand
Yeah.
the seven laws of Tahuti, you got to understand the seven laws of Tahuti. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
That's fundamental right there. That's fundamental. You ain't going nowhere until you get that down first.
Right, and then
And
once you embrace these things, because it's like a process that most people have to go through to even uh, grasp these concepts inside of their head. It's a process. You can't just get it immediately. You've been
no.
already inundated with religion, with indoctrinations in school. So you got to
Hmm.
clean out the programming. It's like they was telling us in the 70s, program or reprogram the program. Meaning you have to become the
Yep.
master programmer, right? Once
Yeah.
you become the master programmer, you're going to create your own realities.
And then at the same token, you have to be able to create a balance too between both worlds. You have to stay balanced because I can find myself going way over here and not taking care of this shit over here in 3D.
Well,
With this shit, yeah, it has to be balanced. But what you're
right.
talking about in the Justice League, Infinite Earths, god damn, Saturday Night Live out there, baby. Um, no, that just distracted me right there.
Right.
I was now I can't even. I lost what I was getting ready to say, or it went back somewhere.
Right. But
But
like
it was
we have
something.
superpowers, y'all. We have superpowers, y'all. Y'all just got to start utilizing them, and it's not something that's going to snap online if you in the mindset that you're in. This is why what curates your whole reality is your own mind.
Well, that's the first law of Tahuti. The all is mind. The universe is mental and not physical.
So once you mastered your own mind, now you have the ultimate power to maneuver through the multiverse.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because you are multidimensional. See, because this is what we talk about on the show. We're orientating you to your spiritual divineness and what all of that entails.
Hmm.
Superpowers, clairvoyance, right?
Hmm.
Now, recognizing the flimsiness of the physical reality, right? You got to understand that physical reality, if you're motivated by these things, you're collapsing that reality for yourselves.
When you come
You're
into the
collapsing that
realization,
reality for you.
I think Bobby Hemmett said perfectly, coming into the realization of your non-existence.
Mm,
When you become, yeah, when you
right.
come into the realization that you really don't exist, you're being broadcast here. That the real you is not even here. So
Right.
when you come into the realization that you really don't exist, then yeah, now you can have your superpowers because mm, how how
You turn off the inhibitor chip, bro. When you think in this way, you turn it
yeah.
off. I mean, you turn it on. I mean, you turn on you turn off the inhibitor chip, and you turn
Hmm.
on the latent DNA.
Yes. Yeah, you turn off the bullshit that make you believe that you do exist and you exist as this person that's just going to grow, that who you are today and tomorrow you're going to become some great bald headed old wrinkled fart and just wither and die away.
I mean, we all struggle with our immortality, which is just a portion of who we are, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
we're immortal, and we're mortals, and we're immortal, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
to reconcile that, you have to, like you just said, you have to approach it with a understanding of my balancing these things out to reconcile themselves. Because life life is death, death is life, and God is
Hmm.
the devil is God. Right? Energetically, y'all. Energetically, I'm speaking like the energy, though. I'm not speaking literally.
Yeah.
I'm speaking about the energy.
Hmm. See,
You know what I'm saying?
when you see, energy cannot be destroyed. It cannot be destroyed nor created. It can only be transformed or transmitted. So there is no death. It's
Right.
just only energy being moving from one form into another form, taking one
But
shape
people,
and going into
I think people have a hard time with the personality, with the individual, and that's the ego.
the ego, the lower triangle, the bottom triangle,
Right.
the
They
the
fall in
the bottom
love
triangle.
with once you fall in love with your humanity, with who you are in this humanity, society, and all that, you fall in love with that, and then
Hmm.
you miss out on all of the blood. I mean, your blessings, all of your not blessings, but the all of your birthrights. You're missing out on your
Yeah.
birthrights.
Your
Why?
spiritual
Because
birth.
because you have to meditate on this all the time. This is why meditation is important. Breathing is important, right? Because it tunes you back in to an actual totality, holistic reality. Reality is holistic. It's not linear, like the European, the Western world looks at it.
Mm-hmm.
It's holistic.
Yeah.
So
The breathing is
everything should
very
be approached from a holistic perspective. Like for example, I was talking to the people the other day, like about how the medical industry the medical industry will never heal people, right? The medical industry will never heal people. Why? Because they make money off of sick people.
yeah, treating sick people. And yeah, it's all about treatment. It's not about healing. And if you come up with some shit to heal all the stuff they making billions of dollars off of treating, they'll kill you in the streets. They'll shoot you.
Dr. Sabian,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And
Yeah.
now I heard recently Dr. Sabian's son got arrested for um, basically selling herbs.
You can sell weed, but you can't sell.
Exactly. My point
Yeah.
exactly. My point
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Yeah. Anything that's going to free us from out of the matrix, that makes you independent of the matrix and not having to depend on their pharmaceuticals, their whole philosophy of life, period. Their religion, their politics, their philosophies. I mean, once you're anti that, you're pretty much enemy of the state.
Right. It's just like in the heritage wars in the ancient Europe. The heritage
Mm-hmm.
wars, they were only killing people who were just critical thinkers and spiritual, who are people who will think Gnostic spiritual
Mm-hmm.
concepts. They were killing these people. The witch hunts of the Salem witch hunts,
Yeah.
right? They were
Mm-hmm.
killing people who were just basically thinking outside of the state-sponsored gods or the state-sponsored religions.
Yeah.
They were killing.
But now,
And it's the
yeah.
same thing over and over again with what they called the Inquisition and the
Mm-hmm.
what they call it. Damn, I can't think of it right now.
Sage.
Um,
I hate when that happens.
right. It's gonna come to me in a minute, but basically, these ones when they first went on their missions, like
Mm-hmm.
literally missions
Mm-hmm.
to convert the whole indigenous population into their gods. And for the
Mm-hmm.
most part, they have been successful. For the
Mm-hmm.
most part, they've been successful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Intercatera Divina, that's what it was. Look up
Okay.
Intercatera Divina. These were the decrees by the Pope given to the missions and the the night orders to kill off all the people who didn't convert to their God.
Catholicism and Christianity.
Right.
Yeah, because
If they converted,
yeah, because
most of the that's how they conquered because most who converted, they are the people who are the now that we see today who are the offspring of the people that are the progenitors, right? Not the ancestors.
mm-hmm.
They are the progenitors of those people, right? So this is why you see so many people with the slave mentality. Because it's in their genetics, right? You'll get that not that many people who got that seminal Gullah spirit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm
You don't
saying?
have. Yeah. You got plantation motherfuckers.
I mean,
Plantation
this
thinking.
when you look at how the genetics of these are the basically the progenitors. These are the progenitors of those same sellouts. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I mean, they are the progenitors. Yep, of the same sellouts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
They the reincarnation of them.
yeah, we are ancestors without doubt contradiction. So you are who your ancestors
Mm-hmm.
are, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And in our junk DNA are who we were before we fell into physicality. We got to see.
Right,
We have
right, right, right.
ancestors on the
That is
physical
time.
realm.
Yeah,
Hmm?
you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Those are
Where
like
we're.
the Titans. That's what was covered up because we are the Titans. That's the whole Titan story and shit, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Tiamat story, uh, the Adam Catman story. You know,
I
young
got I
people
got to
find.
I got to do some research on that. The Adam Cadden.
Yes. Yeah, I had some good videos on that. I have to go back through them. I mean, it's so much. It's so much to remember. I don't have the time right now to just sit down and put everything together because it's a puzzle that needs to be put together. And
Right.
but I'm working on it. Yeah,
I mean, these are the
I'm
things
working on it.
that need to be big books written on, and I'm starting the book in my mind right now.
Hmm.
I wrote a lot of notes down too that I'm going to incorporate into. But before I will say before the end of this year, I will
Hmm.
have a lot of material for a book, man. I'm not letting it go. I'm not letting it go no longer. I got to. I got so many books under my belt that I got to put one out immediately.
I want to write a book of spells, but spells to bring in the new golden age.
Right.
Yeah, because I think that's what we're supposed to be doing. Because
Right.
remember
Ritual,
that. Hmm.
ritual spells. We supposed to be vibrating at a frequency that's heightened than the frequency we was in. That was the whole ushering in of the eclipse, which that eclipse looked at manufactured to me though. It looked at manufactured to me, but
Well, it probably was, but it's still just as effective.
I mean,
I
at the
mean,
end of the day, even if they're trying to block the energy, they just letting you know that there is a abundant of new energy, or what we I wouldn't call it new energy. It'd be new to us to this frequency, but there's an abundance of energy that's coming in right now. It's over flooding, right? This is what they meant
yeah,
literally
and
by the
right,
great flood. Remember they talked about the great flood in the Bible? They wasn't talking about a literal flood.
yeah,
They were talking about a
yeah.
flood of energy.
I'm glad you brought that up. So I was thinking the same thing, um, but I was thinking on the term of Atlantis, and I believe we're in Atlantis. This is Atlantis after the flood. The flood,
Mm,
yeah. Okay, you had the spiritual Atlantis, and now you have the physical Atlantis. And Bobby Hemmings said it was the physical flooding over into the spiritual.
yeah.
Okay, so Atlantis, the spiritual Atlantis sank, and
Right,
now
right,
what's left is the physical Atlantis. and it's been
Mm.
here all along, and we're there. We're it.
And
This
now,
isn't
this physical reality is getting more distant, and the spiritual reality is coming more closer.
another flood.
Yes.
Well, but or a mighty fire, the Kundalini flame.
I mean, you can describe it as a fire too, right?
Hmm.
I use the mythology of the phoenix bird a lot to describe what's happening, right?
Yeah, but it's burning an etheric flame, not
A literal
just
flame,
a
yeah.
gas. Yeah, plasma etheric flame that
Right, 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 right,
burns burns away this reality.
right, 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 right. Well, bro,
That's what
I'm gonna go ahead.
that's what the kind of Kundalini I'm raising, the kind that burns away the old, and so something new can be.
Right.
So I'm raising Kundalini for that.
Mm.
Yeah, and on the way, you know, shit, I want to take advantage of this economic. I mean, this event that's bound to happen at any second, and
What, what
put
event you
myself
talking
in
about?
this economic
Talking
event.
about the
I've been
election?
talking about. No, I have to show you. This chart to explain it better.
Well, we got it. We all in an abundance mindset, man. Not a scarcity mindset,
Yeah,
right?
and
Not
it has
a
to be.
fearful
Yeah.
mindset, right? Not
Hmm.
not the end of the world and is a fearful thing. Get out of that mindset because the end of the world is a victory dance.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We're even if we're going to go through a depression or two, it's
Yeah,
all worth it. You know what I'm saying? It's all worth it at the end of the day. I can't see it.
I'm getting ready to take a picture of it on my other. I'm going to take a picture of it on the computer, and
Right. I mean, he
then
the brother Russ Mir just put in the collective consciousness. Now, the thing about it is that's more relevant now than the individualism.
hmm
The collective consciousness is more relevant than, and mind you, I've already been tuned into that frequency because for over 20 years, I've been promoting the unification of our people and doing things in a collective way. We can't see it. You got to.
I know it's too bright or something. Yeah. I'm trying to show this chart, but for some reason, my phone.
Do you got another computer on or something?
No, no, I don't have another computer on. Well, mm, damn, I'm not able to show it on my phone. But this chart on this market called the Fed Fund Future, which is short-term interest rate, it's
Mhm.
at its lowest. It's back at its lowest level, like it was in 2008, right before the major crash happened. And
You
this
talking
thing is
about
telling,
currently?
huh?
Currently, it is.
Yeah, yeah, it's back at its 2008. Well, where it was in 2006 and 2007 before everything crashed. And so we're at the bottom, and it's kind of like plateauing at the bottom, but at some point it's gonna just pop. Is going to pop. It's going to. It's right now. It's plateauing at the bottom, and then it's going to take off. And this thing is telling us that rates are going to eventually go back to zero, and so that way they can refinance all of this. I think $7 trillion of debt that's coming due that has to be refinanced. So
Mhm.
they got to have a financial crisis and send rates back to zero. But after they refinance this money, rates are probably going to go back up to double digits because that's going to send inflation sky high. You think it's bad now? We're going to have a period of deflation, and then after that, we're going to have, I think, some major inflationary event when they have to print all another 10, $15 trillion of debt, and that's going to cause the value of the dollar to just shrink away. The money won't have no purchasing power. It might have intrinsic power, but it won't have that much purchasing power. You're going to need more and more and more. Eventually, the
Right. I
system
mean,
is.
somebody explained that to me the other day on how the purchasing power of the dollar is so low right now. This is why everything seems to be going up.
Yeah,
No,
it seems,
the
but no,
purchasing, the purchasing value of the dollar is going
it's
down.
shrink. Yeah, the value of the
Right,
money is shrinking.
right,
Yes. So it takes more of those dollars to buy the same goods.
right. Did
Yeah.
you and
And that,
you hear about a lot of these big corporations like the 99-cent store going out of business, right?
yeah.
It's not
Hmm.
just the 99 cents. There's a number of other businesses that have been around for a while that are basically going out of business.
Well, a lot of it is from the smash and grab, which is all engineered. I think they want to get rid of the regular retail mom and pop shops or even the big retail stores and just have us buying shit online and keep us inside.
Right? People
They're
are not even aware. People are not really ready to accept how much of the stuff that they manufacture with certain plots that the government set up the people on and lead us to the certain points that we are today. A lot of it was based on, you know what I'm saying? They were scheming. They were scheming on us, and they had an agenda. They was hoarding us. They was hoarding us a certain direction.
Yes, they're
You know what
hoarding
I'm
us. Yeah, yeah, and that's they're hoarding us in a direction that's favorable for them, which means we should be going in the opposite direction of where they're trying to send us.
Exactly. You're right. Exactly. Right.
Yeah,
So, and it's more like what we talked about last night is how people just don't have the spirit within them to even. They would rather, for the most part, be oblivious. And I'm not even. I will say right now, it's like the because I used to think it. I mean, I used to break it down to like 85% of people are basically not ready and prepared for what's going to happen psychologically, emotionally, and ready. But now
hmm,
I'm looking at it like 90% of the people, bro. They just went to sleep and they keep wilding them back to sleep, weighing them back to sleep, weighing them back every instant because they seeing there's a glimpse that there can be a critical mass. Anytime they seeing
yeah,
that there's a glimpse, there's going to be a critical mass, man. They start
hmm,
working hard to make sure you put y'all back to sleep, and that's what we got
yeah,
to be mindful of.
yeah, putting us back to sleep. You see, this is Egypt in in
For
in the
the last
Exodus story.
time,
Well, the Pharaoh is afraid of the slaves rising up and taking them out of power. So they're killing off all the firstborn. They're killing all the male.
wow, wow,
Yeah.
it's crazy how this is a normal pattern for not only ancient states but modern states,
Mm-hmm.
right? Every from the ancient states to the modern states, their main objective was to keep a certain hold on the people's level of consciousness, right? They always wanted to keep a control of the people's level of consciousness in every society.
Yeah. And or kill off their young,
Right,
kill
because
off their young
without
men.
right, because without that control, they couldn't even have a society how they have it. They couldn't have a society like they have it. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Yeah, and if you have strong males, a strong
Right.
okay, if
Thank you.
you're
Thank you.
slaves,
Thank you. Thank you.
you have real
Thank you.
strong male, that's
Right.
scary because they'll come
Right.
after your ass.
But guess
So you
what?
got to
That's
back them down.
well, guess what? That's why they constantly putting stuff in the food that's actually fucking with the masculinity of men in the society. Man,
Mm-hmm.
there's so many things that got soy in it, bro. And you
Mm-hmm.
know, soy basically interferes with your productivity of testosterone.
Awesome. It makes you produce estrogen.
Right.
It makes give men titties and turn men real thin. It's like you might as well take estrogen pills.
Basically. But
Yeah.
brother, I gotta get ready for my next show. So get your last words in, bro.
Well, last words. Yes. Okay. So after now the eclipse is gone, and so now they're waiting on something to happen by May the 18th, 40 days after the eclipse. Something's supposed to go down by May the 18th. They're talking about. So that's the mindset that's out there. I say, don't matter, bring it on. Tap into the ether, tap into the dark matter, and shit. While whatever they're going through, we can turn into the superheroes. Okay, they can have their zombie apocalypse, they can have their World War III. I don't give a fuck. As long as my higher DNA come online and I can manipulate this universe, manipulate this reality, and do whatever the fuck I want in this reality, so be it.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm fucking.
I'll go like this, man. You are not only the superhero but the villain. So do do with that what you may. We'll see y'all next
Yeah,
week.
yeah. Next week.